No Braxis, no Warhead Junction, not yet. But
you never know. Maybe Black will, if they win, or also Supreme Mixtape, they might have a surprising tactic on that battleground. So let's see. MVP Black, they've been, for a surprise, they were one of the first teams competitive to pick Medivh into this map. So we'll probably like to see Medivh, and also Kyocha's Tracer on this map has been so powerful, just blowing everyone up in all the lanes.
Kyocha is kind of the guy right now in terms of what your draft could look like. When you have a player like Kyocha with such a large hero pool, could play Falstad to Medivh to Butcher to Tassadar, like to Illidan, then suddenly you have to think about all sorts of different possibilities when you're drafting against a team like that. That's very scary. All right, Black's going to ban the Zarya, which means that Supreme Mixtape could pick Zeratul. They're going to first pick Vala instead, though. And this is going to be, you know, they're hoping that they can build the composition around this. The Insta-Malfurion variant from Black. They expected and predicted this. And we'll see if Supreme Mixtape is going to commit to Tassadar with this Vala. Definitely not the same type of Tassadar that we saw in the past with the rework. But we've seen it already today, paired with the Vala.
And Tust has been one of the strongest variants in Korean region right now. He has been keeping on that. His reaction time to that taunt when that Falstad flew over was so fast. Falstad couldn't even use
It was almost
that.
suspicious. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, are you a robot?
Just
very quick.
Having that perfect teamwork along with the new team from Miracle, I think that's one of his best. What's the word? I can't even think of the word right now.
Well, I just want to put this into perspective in general. In HGC's Korean KDAs, Tist and Meriday are at the top. Tist at 20.5, Meriday at 20.3. The next is Nachogen at 12.9. So the amount that Tist and Meriday have been dominating in this league cannot be overstated in terms of kills to death ratio. As we see, this is not a crazy ban with the Ariel. The ETC makes sense, and the Tassadar I was talking about before, they are going to pick it up early.
And it's not like they've been playing like super safe in the back line, just not trying to die or something. They were in the front line, but somehow manages to escape the fight just before their death. And that's where the strong player really shows their talent.
Not an easy ban here right now for Supreme Mixtape. I personally kind of leaning towards Tychus or Li Ming. I'm not as afraid of Li Ming because of Tassadar's burst shields. But we'll see. You can see Tassadar's win rate is negative. He's very highly picked. 14 picks in total. Many more bans. But he's a reworked Tassadar. Now they're going to ban Dahaka instead, so trying to target down Kyocha a little bit here.
But you can't really target down Kyocha, and then there's an instant pick on Zeratul and Ragnaros. Black is just taking this draft into their hands.
Look, it's their map pick, and they have a certain style they want to play on it. But this is the fastest drafting we have seen in a draft in this tournament by Black. Not between the two together, but Black is so ready for every inevitability. They've clearly prepared better for the draft than SMT here. And now it's down to the last two picks. They need a healer, and they need another source of damage. I'd say it's likely to be Li Ming and Kharazim. Problem with Kharazim, of course, is his burst can be denied. We've already seen Palm denies by Black, several in that first game.
We'll see what Supreme Mixtape has to offer in Tars of Doom. They do not have too much time.
I wouldn't even look. Rhaegar, I talked about before. Scarlet likes a lot of Rhaegar. Would not even be surprised if they pick it up. Brightwing and Tyrael. Pretty surprised about those ones though.
So they're going all in Vala, just like Mighty did with Greymane several times.
Yeah.
Is this going to work? They do have potential global of ETC and Brightwing, and that to take the early level EXP lead, that is possible. But going into team fight, well, Tars of Doom, it's one of those maps you don't really actually need to team fight at all. If you unless there's one altar, but you can also not fight. But there's just less fights in this battleground, of course.
Yeah. I think, we're going to go with Hammer. I was going to say that I was pretty under the assumption it was going to be a cross between the Li Ming and the Tychus here. Because Li Ming has poke. Tychus is good against the double tank that we see, like very hefty tank in ETC. Tychus. Sergeant Hammer is basically more about the pushing power. Does have a decent amount of poke as well. Very well protected with this composition. MVP Black looked dominant in game number 1. They had a fast draft going into game number 2. Can SMT bring it back on Towers of Doom? We're going to find out. Doesn't seem likely. MVP Black just seems unstoppable right now. Let's go into game number 2 to see if that continues. In blue, MVP Black, world champions. Sake on Ragnaros. Reset on Sergeant Hammer. Tist on Varian. Kocha on Zeratul. And Meriday on Malfurion.
In red, Supreme Mixtape Scarlet on Brightwing, Dudu on Vala, Wiz on Tyrael, Judy on ETC, No Chat on Tassadar.
The Brightwing pick. It's got me a little bit worried. Yes, they have Tyrael shields. Yes, they have the Tassadar shields to keep Vala alive. And it's a strong global hero. But in terms of CC, Polymorph, maybe help save you against a Zeratul, maybe help you get the kill against a Zeratul. There's just no burst heal. If the shield's on cooldown, or the Sank is done, can Vala survive against the pressure that she's going to have against Zeratul, the taunt that's going to come out with Varian, Ragnaros, the Molten Core, all of this burst damage that MVP Black has, that Brightwing just cannot counter as they get a free pick off from the Meriday.
That was a good pick off, and Dudu is also pretty low, but he survives. That Scarlet on Brightwing also does worry me a little bit. As you said, there is no first heal. But if the fight actually goes on for a long time, and Dudu somehow managed to escape the taunt from Varian, and I'm saying so many ifs also too. The Supreme Mixtape, they need to really take care of their back line, because Zeratul can poke on Vala or Brightwing and also Tassadar.
Yep.
Let's see what they have against that Zeratul pick, if Supreme Mixtape actually had that answer against them.
It's going to be on No Chat to also be the spotter of Zeratul, because he does have his Oracle, which was also slightly changed. It has a smaller radius now, but doesn't cost mana. It has, I think, a 10-second shorter cooldown, if I remember correctly. So he has it more often, but as you can see, the radius is reduced, so he needs to make sure that he uses it wisely and in the correct position to spot where Kocha is approaching from. Again, I want to highlight again how crazy it is to have Kocha playing Zeratul, as he was a ranged flex for so long, and his hero pool is just absolutely out of this world for him to switch roles like this. It doesn't get much more opposite than all-rounder ranged flex to melee assassin.
And they just trade Brightwing with a altar. Not the worst trade, because Brightwing, if not used, you can just teleport right into the fight, right into the bottom lane.
And they also didn't miss any EXP during this, so definitely ends up being pretty solid for SMT. They're down about half a level though, and they lost a lot of ammunition on their towers, especially in the top lane, I believe it was, where they were missing the majority of that. It's still a fairly close game, as we see it's going to be a Hatred build coming out for Vala.
And Tist has been so good just spotting what the enemy team is doing, just becoming a human warrior. He's actually going to go all the way in to try to fight for this camp.
I think actually he has to give it up, but he's going to die trying to commit here. Kocha unable to find anything else here as he was blocked away by the Tyrael. Sake, meanwhile, is crushing this top lane, and because he had vision of everything that was happening there, it's not risky for him to be there. He's going to get them 7 first. But Tist with another one of those moves where he's really just bluffing it. And if Supreme Mixtape had been a little bit more nervous there, or to play a little more conservatively, they might have given it to him. But a good call there by SMT to make sure that they hold on to those sappers, which actually killed the wall of MVP Black.
I guess the Brightwing pick actually helped scouting Zeratul with that peekaboo. But was that enough?
I mean, this is true, right? Like, it's definitely helpful.
It is very helpful, especially in this. For an older guy like me, like I have a hard time scouting all the stealth heroes, especially in these kind of dark maps, Towers of Doom or Cursed Hollow, sort of.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely pretty helpful. Does it warrant the pick? Well, we'll see. See another peekaboo go off here. Sees the angle at which Kocha retreats. It's double altars here. And with the comp that Black has, I feel like they can harass, poke a little bit. If they could just deny one channel, oh, not going to happen. I think it's too well blocked.
SMT is being way too, like, not the opposite of overextending, way too
conservative,
protective to their teammates. They're using the teleports peekaboo, and Tassadar just pressing that D all the time, just in case a Zeratul is around them, or also to spot an enemy around them.
It's very smart, though. It gives them a lot of extra security, and it eliminates unnecessary risky positions. They're actually looking to be very aggressive here. Look at that zoning route by Meriday just to make sure that no one can get through that choke point as Sake just continues to poke. It's funny that Sake ends up playing Ragnaros here. You and I were talking about, he's like, not really a tank. Like, what is he? We were talking about this in the breakout. He's like, not really a tank. He's kind of tanky. He's like a warrior, but like,
also a mage in a way.
He pokes. He's like kind of magey. He's like he's almost feels like he's a ranged like half mage, half tank. So it's not like crazy that Sake plays him. It's definitely not what Sake normally plays, but
if you look at I believe in the developer notes, they were trying to make him into a specialist, but they ended up just changing him to assassin. So I think that's kind of why Ragnaros became a hero just like that.
He's definitely, he doesn't fit in any class per se, like directly. Like some people might call him a warrior, some people might call him an assassin. It's just like, well, he's kind of a lot of different things. And in this case, he's kind of winning the top lane versus Wiz and nearly killed a bell tower, which would be really helpful going to this solo altar phase. Unfortunately, unable to get it. Both teams have 10. Supreme Mixtape ahead in terms of core health. And because we're on even talent tiers here, this composition for the time being is working for Supreme Mixtape. And they have the ability to take this altar away from MVP Black. They're outpositioned right now, unfortunately, though. And that top bell tower looks like it will go down.
Look at that drafting coming up from Tist right there. And Dudu very low, and then he does go down. Even stage dive used from Judy just to... That was a little bit too late, I'd say. I think Judy was trying to keep Davala alive there, but just a tiny bit late.
So MVP Black, not only do they get the pick onto Vala, but also they get the altar channel with the top bell tower, so they get 5 shots, which will actually put them ahead by just simply the 1. They're going to get a second bell tower here, because the lanes were just continually pushed, similar to the previous set. They have the ability to escort the Pumpkin Men in the top lane now, while threatening that, possibly also getting this mid bell tower. The wall is already gone. And Sake is just going to defend this. They're actually going to commit to this. He has Molten Core, I'm pretty sure. In fact, yes, he does. He uses it right now, just trying to help escort these Pumpkin Men while they're taking the mid bell tower. We could have 3 bell towers controlled by Black here at 8 minutes into the game, G-Club. This is pretty crazy. Like, this is pretty rare.
And if they manage to do so, they're going to start getting 1 shots at a time. Maybe we're going to see a short game number 2.
I've never seen anything like this. Like, I've never actually seen 3 bell towers taken this early in a professional match on this map. I have never seen this before. And it looks like it's going to happen. They're going to keep poking Sake as just continuing to protect this bell tower. And it seems like Supreme Mixtape, it just doesn't seem like this should be happening. It feels like they should have some sort of solution. They should be able to pick off Sake at least with maybe a stage dive in, a commitment up there with Scarlet teleporting in. Just has not happened. Here's Judy's teleport down now with the stage dive. Meriday with a beautiful ice block to stay alive.
And Reset actually managed to get out from the bottom lane. Sake is a bit out of position, but he's staying alive. Great Void Prison to trap all of them.
Oh
Wow.
my god, look at that combination with the Twilight Dream. Gyocha's beautiful Void Prison there. And Tis is going to come in. Dudu is so low, he has to retreat right away. And this is going to be the kill. Spheric Smash kills Vala. And that is going to be 6 bell towers before 9 minutes. And we will channel. By the way, this altar will send 7 missiles directly to the core. I'm telling you, I've been casting this game for a long time, G-Clef. I have never seen anything like this.
They're also going for that boss to get +4 onto that core health. I froze up for a second when that perfect BP went up. The socket was literally just out of position at the moment. It was about to go down if that did not pop up. And
It was like the OTK towers. Like, oh, I just kill everything I want to get the boss, to get both camps, all the bell towers, just concede. It's like, can't even, only 4 kills. What am I watching? MVP Black takes the second Sapper cap, will attempt for the escort win here. Who knows what could happen?
yeah, they can actually finish the game here if they manage to get 5 out of the 6 Sappers into them. Their socket's gonna pop that Molten Core. Maybe they will actually try to go for it.
Okay, looks like they will. Spheric Smash also used here. 3 moving up right now, right into that barrier. Void Prison used. There's the kill on Ethereal. His trait here not going to do too much for Mary Day.
That's
as the
gonna
shots
be
go
game.
off. There you go. MVP Black. Wow. I mean, wow. Look, I mean, this team was king of the world for a while. They're looking really strong, currently in second place in our standings for HGC Korea. But, and they did they had a really pretty one-sided game number 1. But no Towers of Doom game in Korea has ever been as one-sided as the one we just watched. 6